Hi everybody. Yeah, it's if you hear knocking, it's not my front door. They're doing work in the building. So, hey, problem of living in an apartment. So, they're I guess somebody moved out, so they're redoing the kitchen in there. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, it is the 9th of November, 2023. Um Remember, I'm a clairvoyant, clairaudient, so everything I say is for entertainment purposes only. The full disclaimer is down in the box, along with the coffee thing. And folks, if you haven't subscribed, please check to make sure you are subscribed. It's like the red boots down in the corner, or they have that little oval thing if you look at it. And just a reminder to people that what you're seeing here that's released at 4:30 Central Standard Time, it is a pre-recorded video. I am in the chat. Normally, I am in the chat answering questions with comments and so forth. This Saturday will be an actual live broadcast at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. London time, so you can figure out the time zones from there. Because I'm kind of a little bit late in the morning getting this filmed because gotta love it. I go 1 year here in the States on disability, depending on what areas you live in. Um, I my neighborhood falls under like a township situation, so they get the list of because I have reduced fare for public transportation. I have to go through the office to get it approved every couple of years. So they know who's on and who's not. And so I get the notifications that because I am disabled, the township provides food boxes every couple of weeks. Well, because I've got a couple quirky allergies, I have to, half of the stuff in there, I'd have to pass off to my neighbors. So I get to go in and do my own shopping, so to speak, which means I don't get any of the stuff with the artificial sweeteners or things that have the blue dye that's made from cobalt and so forth. So it's, yeah, and they like to schedule my appointment for like 8 a.m. So I'm like, which means I have to have my butt out the door no later than 7:15 to get there on time. So yeah, when I film on Thursdays, it's usually a later morning, and because I know how long it takes to upload, it's kind of on the shorter side of things. But a couple things. We're all dealing with super stressful nonsense. And there are a couple cute channels I've noticed. And they're, it's like we're all tight on a budget, but some of these women have big subscriber numbers, so they get sponsored by different places. And one of them, I think it's kind of cute because she does all the she opens up all these advent calendars that are kind of geared towards the younger generations. I mean, the Harry Potter fans. So if you just need some brain candy and a break from all the other worldwide annoyances, I mean, find Sherry Wallace. I mean, I enjoy watching her unbox all these things. I mean, when she did the Disney Swarovski crystal Christmas ornament calendar that's over $1,000. I'm like, whoa. Well, she did something, so I don't blame her, because after looking at it, I wouldn't have paid that much money for it. But people will probably put those little ornaments up for sale later on because they're collector's items. But the other one is, she used to go under another name, but now she's Miss Boo, MISSBOUX. She gets all these super high end holiday calendar boxes from like Selfridges and Harrods and Dior and Liberty of London. And I mean, these things are several £100s, several $100s. And it's just for like travel size. A lot of it is travel size skincare. But I mean, the one that comes from Dior or Chanel, it's like, how many lipsticks do you really need? Are you able to blast through that many tubes of red lipstick in 12 months? So unless you're regifting, it's kind of like, it's nice to see what's in it, but I don't want to, it's not in my budget to be spending on that kind of money. Now, something I did catch before I took off this morning, I did have time to catch our favorite Swede. And basically, he's noticed that a lot of these videos pertaining to the 19th C, they're being removed. They're being scrubbed off the internet. And now it's like, what's his face? Piers Morgan. Yeah, he's got his program called Uncensored. Well, it's here, the information is coming out about side effects from the 19th C liquid. And now we don't hear Piers retracting his urging of people to have that placed into their bodies. And now the other day Piers Morgan had this guy on, Douglas Murray, where Piers, we know, got his nose put out of joint because I guess Rachel met him for drinks one night, and I guess she realized that Piers wasn't going to fall for her charm, so she dissed him, but ghosted him. And because she ghosted him, that's why he basically called her out when she did the Oprah interview. So he stopped working for the one TV station and now is on another with his program called Uncensored. And like I said, he had Douglas Murray on. Well, Douglas Murray basically called out Piers and all his inaccurate information. And it's, yeah, Douglas admitted, hey, the goal of HAMS is to continue what the Third Reich wanted to have happen. And yeah, I mean, Hamas is controlled by the bigwigs in Iran. I mean, basically all these little yucko groups kicked off between 79 and what, Khomeini died in 88? In that like 9-year period? I mean, HAMS was formed, Hezbollah was formed, Taliban, Al-Kinkos, then the one that took their name from an Egyptian goddess, that's five subcults of the big Shia cult, okay? It's kind of like, makes me think, yeah, Joseph Smith, who was the mentor of Brigham Young. There's all these little offshoots of that group of alleged Christians, which I think are just as devious because everything depends on bloodline. Yeah, whacked. So one thing that did happen yesterday that was really good is that they did censor that idiot from Detroit, Talib. She's been censored, and actually 22 donkeys voted with the elephants to take her down. And unfortunately, my congressional rep, Dumbo Delia, is having kitten fits because her friend was censored on the House floor. Dumbo Delia, all she is a frickin' anchor baby. She even speaks with a very thick Mexican accent. south of the border, wetback accent. So people here in Illinois are even like getting fed up with her. I mean, these certain members, these donkeys, are like, they want this aid package to go directly to HAMS. They say that this aid is supposed to be used towards the hostages. Well, this may come as a rude awakening or something that people don't want to hear. But I think right now, for a lot of those alleged hostages, the only aid they need is for someone to be saying the Kaddish for them. Yeah, a lot of the older, the ones that aren't good human Kevlar in Gaza, yeah, they're trying to run away to the south end near the Egyptian border. But Egypt sides with Jordan and Saudi, and they don't want the Shiite in there. They'll hold them at the border, and basically, because there is so much, Hamas doesn't care about people. I mean, the cult leaders don't really care about women and female children and anybody who's elderly. So they're coming down and gathering in large groups, and they're in like these holding situations. Well, yeah, a lot of people, they're noticing massive outbreaks of illnesses that in the Western countries are pretty much contained. I mean, yeah, you're seeing down there mumps, measles, chickenpox, that respiratory thing that is harmful to pregnant women. What is it, RSV, something like that? There's also now cases of tuberculosis. And because of the lack of sanitation, we're going to see cholera and typhus and typhoid all breaking out in these people, in these groups. So some of these people are being cherry-picked and brought over so they can become a wetback here in the United States. But anybody who's coming out of North Africa or the Middle East, they all need to be quarantined because Hamas is expecting them to transmit a lot of these illnesses that have been basically eradicated from the Western culture countries, and many people don't have any immunity to. Yes, older people catching mumps, measles, chickenpox can be deadly, and it can make certain people sterile, not able to have children. Measles can cause blindness. So people, make sure you know what childhood illnesses you had, and make sure that you are updated on all your vaccines for these childhood illnesses. And pregnant mommies, be careful. Rubella is extremely harmful for the fetus. Okay? It can cause massive, massive birth defects. So you got to be careful. I mean, we've got so much going on that, okay, yeah, we're going to have a House subcommittee being called. I guess it's going to be sometime next week, and they are going to start investigating the colleges and universities that are receiving government funds, but the administration on these college campuses, they are endorsing, allowing pro-Hamas, pro-cult Islam behavior. And if somebody says, no, I'm not going to stand for it, they're basically the students and the faculty that will not tolerate this kind of nonsense. They are being ostracized, and actually students are being placed on academic probation. And the intelligent teachers are not having their contracts renewed. Well, the hearings next week by the House subcommittee, they're going to be looking at these universities and colleges that are very basically anti-Semitic. And if they're going to continue with their anti-Semitic behavior, they're going to lose all government funding. I mean, we saw what's going on, what happened to that kid up in Cornell. But I've even seen it because one of the bus lines I use goes past one of the local, what they call junior colleges, where you can get your first 2 years knocked out and come out with an associate's degree. And yes, I saw a girl getting off the bus and she was tucking inside her shirt her Mug and David. And I saw these kids out there, these stupid suburban kids with the pride Palestinian bastardized flag. I'm like, you idiots. Don't you know you're going to be having, if the iCult gets what it wants, all of you are putting your identification up on that CCP phone app. You're going to go flying, you're going to be playing Superman off the Willis Tower. Or the Empire State Building in New York. Or maybe the Capitol Records Building in LA. You know, Vegas has a lot of high buildings. A skyscraper, yeah, these kids that are walking around with their rainbows, they're going to be playing Superman. And they don't get it. They don't understand what they're supporting. I mean, one of the things that is, I caught a clip on one of the foreign outlets, the Houthis in Yemen, the nasty ones. I told you, I mean, back when the joke was you could smell a Paki a block off, a Yemenite a mile off. Yeah, because the Yemenites are dirty, filthy people. And because they're considered a lower life form by the Sunnis, especially by the Saudis, the Yemenites are crapola. They are now starting to, pretty soon you're going to have the Shiite coming out of Gaza and Iran attacking Saudi, and they're going to use Yemen as the southern base to squash Saudi. Just like Lebanon is the north border of Israel, and you've got the Gaza stuff, and they're coming in from the West Bank, and they're basically coming in attacking Israel on 3 sides. Folks, all this nonsense is being orchestrated out of Tehran. If we're going to do a mushroom cloud, it's got to be on Tehran. And I've talked to some friends who are from Iraq, and they're like, the worst thing that could have happened is when Bush went after Saddam. Saddam had his foot on the neck of these iCult leaders. He was the only one keeping them under control. that's what we got to do. We've got to, we have to make sure that we protect our friends who are Iraqi, who are Sunni Muslims, because they're the ones who can help step up and help defend every other white Caucasian skinned person. Because if you look, the I cult, they want young women as their concubines. Women are nothing in their eyes. Once you're past breeding age, you might as well be buried up to your neck in sand out in the desert. Yes, that's what these people are like. And yes, okay, I have a blue turtleneck on, but yeah, hey, everybody knows I'm a donkey. But I have it on today because if we can get it up to the camera, if you can see it, this is actually a pendant. It's set in, it's rhodium plated sterling with white topaz and opals. But what it is the Air Force Infinity Wings. So yeah, my dad was Air Force. My uncle's Air Force. Okay, my brothers went into the Navy, but they were still in jets. They still ended up working in the Navy, the jets and aircraft carriers for the U.S. Navy. Couldn't get away from aviation. So yeah, I've got it. And when I was at that appointment this morning, I saw another lady there. She had her Army Ant sweatshirt on, and I've seen her there a couple weeks ago, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, look what I got." And because her nephew is a paratrooper, she found the pendant. It's a little parachute, and where the strings come down, it's a little pair of combat boots. It is so cute. And what they did is they had his initials and his dog tag number engraved on the back. So it's so nice to see other military families proudly wearing the women wearing our necklaces and sweatshirts. And so especially this weekend, yes, Saturday is going to be a live broadcast. It is Veterans Day, Armistice Day, whatever you call it in your country. It's the memorial of the end of World War I. It was basically a overblown pissing match between two cousins. Yeah, I wonder who bullied who. Yeah, the Kaiser was a grandson of Victoria, and so was, what was it? Who was it? It was George something. Yeah. So, it must have been, somebody must have pissed somebody off, probably at Victoria's funeral, so they waited till their grandmother had kicked the bucket. And as soon as they got their military up to snuff, that's when he went after his relatives. So that was basically, World War I was basically a family feud. But yeah, it's like, folks, just, I don't want this to take 4 hours to upload. So I'm going to cut you loose now. If you're going to go out and hang out at any of the memorial events, if you have one, go practice. Stick it in your backpack, pocket, purse, and then go to the event. Because that way you don't need a stupid card. And you're legally not doing anything wrong. You can go practice, go to the memorial event, and then go home. And you've got it with you legally because you were went to practice first, or lessons. Okay? I think you figured out what I'm talking about. Pow-pows? Okay, yes. So I'm looking forward to Saturday. Everybody stay safe. Consider this like how it was back in the 70s with the Troubles, with the Finians. And yeah, hey, yeah, I've got scars from a pipe bomb, a pipe boom boom that went off in a garbage can. So some friends of mine are already laughing and teasing. Yeah, we're gonna go. Being standing next to you is the safest person around, because what are the odds of another thing from a bad boy group happening around you again? So I think there's pretty high odds or whatever. So yeah, I've been invited to like 3 places. I haven't decided which one I'll go to, but I'll let you know which one I went to come Saturday afternoon. So everyone have a good Friday night, a good Shabbos. Stay strong. Do not back down. Call out the idiots. Don't be swayed by some woke liberal idiot at your local congregation. Call them out on it. Because those who didn't call out allowed people to end up in a boxcar. Complacency leads to boxcars. Make your voice known. Scream it from the top of every tree. If it means getting called up to say one thing on the bema, you've got a cornered audience in most congregations. Live stream on YouTube. Go ahead. Call out the foolish members of your congregation who are donkeys. Donkeys support HAMS. Donkeys support the occults. Call out your congregational members. The only way they'll change or even reconsider their opinions is through public embarrassment. So go for it. I did. I mean, I even have a pissing match going on with some bozo over on LinkedIn. I've called him out. And people like my snarky comments to him. So it's the liberal idiots that are allowing this to happen. And we all have to knock some sense into them. And start with the young kids. The middle school kids. Once they hit double digits, take a child at an impressionable age. You've got them for life. Yeah. Catch the kids when they're young, very impressionable, and start teaching them the right stuff. And they will wake up. And they will be good citizens who are anti-world domination. Okay, I'm going to let you go. See you on Saturday. Bye.